Hi, Cambridge. I'm Elizabeth. We're members of a honk band called Bandland Brass Band. I play trumpet.
I started as a cellist but switched to percussion in eighth grade. Before we get to today's bird, Elizabeth is going to give you a clue about what bird we're going to introduce you to. What did you guess?
Welcome to our animal neighbors in Cambridge. We have community guests Niven and Marlin, and Dr. Patel with Thor the Great Horned Owl.
Hi, everyone.
Hi.
My name is Dr. Patel. I am a wildlife veterinarian, and this is my friend Thor. Thor is a great horned owl. Have you guys ever met a great horned owl yet?
No. Nope.
Oh, well, this is a special occasion then. He's a little bit scared today. He's never really been on TV before. That's what he's doing with his mouth when he's breathing like that. But hopefully he'll get over his stage fright in just a little bit.
What's his favorite food?
Can you guys maybe take a guess at what kind of food he likes to eat?
Nice.
Good job.
What is his favorite thing to do?
To do? He likes people watching. So you might wonder how he's so calm right now. So he is a little bit stressed, but he's not trying to fly away a lot like a wild owl is. So Thor came to us about a year ago. He just had a birthday last week, and he came to us as a baby owl. And we found him on the ground outside of his nest, and he had an injury to one of his eyes. It's a little hard to tell, but if you look at the black circles in his eyes, the one on the left is a different shape. So he had an injury to his eye and he cannot see very well in that eye. So because he can't properly see and therefore hunt or learn to hunt because he was a baby, we decided that he would make a good educational animal. We never want to keep wildlife as pets, but we figured he would be a good ambassador to teach kids all about owls and wildlife. Do you guys know what senses owls use to hunt?
Sight?
They use a little bit of sight, but you said what time of day do they hunt?
He's nocturnal. Oh,
yeah.
Hearing.
So they probably can't see very well at night. So what's another sense they can use to hunt?
Hearing?
Yes. They use almost 100% of hearing to locate food, which is great. They're almost like flying ninjas at night locating food. So let's say Thor was an adult owl. He was 3 or 4 years old, which is considered an adult owl, and he came in with the same injury. He would actually still be able to be released with one eye because he relies so much on hearing. But because he was a baby, he hadn't even learned how to hunt, let alone with 2 eyes, let alone 1. So that's why we unfortunately could not release him. But we do release one-eyed owls sometimes with eye injuries.
Are those his ears sticking out at the top?
So he's called a great horned owl because of these ear tufts. If he lets me touch, oh no, okay. But they're just feathers, and his ears are tucked away behind his eyes. So if you look around his face, there's an outline of black just on the edge of his face right there. His ears are right behind there. And the arrangement of feathers in a circular pattern around the face is called the facial disc. And that actually helps funnel sound back to the ear so that they can hear really well.
I once heard an owl hooting, but I just didn't see the owl.
Do you remember what it sounded like?
Yeah.
How did it sound?
It hooted in a lot.
You can sometimes ID what type of owl it is by how they sound. So if it sounded like, ooh, 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 did it sound like that? Okay, so it probably wasn't a great horned. Did it sound like, ooh? Yeah, that means that it was a screech owl, which is not the type that Thor is, but it's a much smaller owl. So you probably heard a screech owl. Good job, guys.
And my teacher, Angelina, actually seen a bunch of owls.
Oh, really? Where?
In some forests in the woods near her house.
Oh, yeah. They definitely like to live in the woods. and they can live in little burrows in trees, or they can make nests out on branches. And that's where they have nests and lay eggs and have babies. Even though owls prefer to live in woods, they can adapt to a variety of environments such as cities. So even in Cambridge, there can be many different owl species living there. They're very good at hunting at night when it's a little bit quieter, and they can find the food they need to survive. Do you guys have any more questions about owls?
Why are they nocturnal?
Why? Well, I think that's just the way that they developed. There's many different birds of prey out there. There's hawks and eagles and falcons and many other birds like hawks, eagles, and falcons all hunt during the day. So this gives them a time to be the only ones out there hunting. So there's less competition because they can hunt at night where hawks and eagles cannot.
I've seen a red-tailed hawk before.
You have? They are a very common species in Massachusetts. Do you know where they like to hunt the most?
At farms?
Farms is a good place, but there's one place where we wish they didn't, and that's near the sides of roads. So if you're driving down a highway and you look out the window, you'll pretty much always be guaranteed to see a hawk, most likely a red-tailed hawk. And that is because people throw bits of food out the window thinking they're doing a good job because they're going to feed some wildlife. However, those bits of food on the side of the road attract their favorite meals, mice. And so they perch themselves up on lampposts and wait for mice to come get that food. And it's almost like a buffet for them, really. But when they swoop down to get their meal, sometimes they accidentally get hit by a car. And then they come into my hospital for treatment. So we'd like people to know that that's really dangerous for them and that they should save their bits of food and either throw them out in the garbage or compost them.
I heard that you kids dissected an owl pellet once. Can you tell us about that?
Did you guys dissect a pellet?
Yeah, my brother got these 2 owl pellets for Christmas, and then me and my brother dissected them, and we found a lot of bones in one of them.
So pellets are all the bits of food that owls and birds of prey cannot digest because their stomach can't. So, we don't eat bones, we eat the meat around the bones, but they actually eat the whole prey. And then anything they can't digest, they actually throw up in a compact ball. I know it sounds kind of gross. And it can include fur, feathers, bones. But there's a main difference between pellets from an owl and pellets from a hawk. Pellets from an owl will contain bones, where pellets from a hawk will not, because they can digest it. So if your pellet had bones in it, it was probably from an owl.
Before we say goodbye, we have some artwork we made, and we want to show everybody that you can be an owl too.
Yeah.
Let's all put on our masks.
Those are some awesome masks, guys.
Thank you, Dr. Patel. Thank you, Niven and Marlon.
Bye.
Thank you
Thanks
so
for
much
coming.
for having us here today. And Thor says thank you as well.